All right. So, welcome again. Happy New Year to you guys. Happy Wednesday. I hope that it's been a great start to the year. We're so happy that you joined us today, and thank you so much for the time. We know how busy it is. We got conference season in full swing, a lot of stuff going on. Everybody wants to have the best year ever, and we expect to do that, and we hope that we can help. That's what the point of this webinar is all about: how to grow your gun shop, boost sales in 2025, and have the best year yet. So, we'll go ahead and kick things off. I am joined by the VP of Marketing at Flxpoint, Ben Frank. I'm joined by our good friends at Chattanooga Shooting Supplies, Adam Cruz and Gentry Bell, as well as the founder and CEO, or Chief Fish Officer, as he likes to refer to himself, Matt Reeder from MadFish Solutions. They are an agency that specializes in this industry. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and do introductions, and Adam will start with you and then move over to Gentry, and then Matt will go to you.
Yeah, again, hey, Ben, thanks for having us, and thanks for letting Chattanooga Shooting represent the industry for a distribution partner on this call. So we're really excited about that. Again, my name is Adam Cruz. I'm the Director of Sales over at Chattanooga Shooting Supplies. I've been with the organization less than 5 years, but in wholesale distribution for closer to 20 years. So lots of experience in this wholesale market.
That's excellent. Yeah, we appreciate you being here, Adam, and super excited just to, the products that you guys have. I think your business overall, some of the core values that you have as well really resonate with Flxpoint and what we do. So appreciate you being on with us today.
Thanks.
Yeah. Gentry, how about you?
Gentry Bell. I'm the sales operations manager here at Chattanooga Shooting. Been here just over 11 years. Been thankful to be a part of many different departments here at Chattanooga Shooting. And me and my team and sales operations really just try and support our sales team and really facilitate the communication between you guys, Flxpoint and MadFish, and then getting that information to our team and to all the dealers out there.
Awesome. Love it. Absolutely love it. You guys have some experience in this space. I've been doing it for quite some time. So especially combined. Thanks, Gentry. Appreciate you being here as well. And then last but certainly not least, Matt.
Hello, thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me here today. I really appreciate the time and looking forward to this. So I've been in this tech world pretty much my whole life. I started writing code for businesses when I was about 14 years old. And when I did the math the other day, it turned out to be close to 40 years that I've been doing this. But I've been in the e-commerce world now for about 27 years, really right from the beginning. And we've worked with hundreds of companies over the years in just about every industry that we can imagine. But over the last probably 3.5 years, really been focusing a lot on the firearm space. So we're pretty excited about this.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I mean, 14, man, you you mastered this at a very young age. That's incredible. And obviously, for those that are watching this, Flxpoint has worked with Matt for a long time. We've done a lot from building sites and optimizing websites and really, getting attracting more website visitors and increasing conversion rate. I won't steal Matt's thunder. He'll talk a lot about that. Obviously, I'm the marketing guy, so when we start talking about conversion rates and boosted sales, I get all giddy over here, right? But yeah, appreciate that, Matt. Excited to get into this. We got some really good stuff to cover. I'll be brief. So I'm the VP of Marketing, Ben Frank. I've been doing this marketing thing for about 10 years. Prior to that, I think good for everyone to know, I'm an Army vet. So I was a weapons squad team leader. I've been to Afghanistan, so very familiar with this world. And then after that, got into marketing. I've split my time half and half between agency life, where I've worked with many different e-commerce type businesses. I've built websites on Shopify. I've built websites on BigCommerce and WooCommerce and pretty much anything in between, custom stuff, you name it. And then on the other half, I've run marketing organizations for SaaS and automation, some e-com, some finance, a lot of stuff. So really familiar with the integration side, which obviously is one of Flxpoint's specialties, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. So the main star of this show, obviously, is actually you guys, right? It's our audience. And what we really want to do is, I thought it was good to have a little background on us, but most importantly, we're hoping to get out of this is, how can we help you, right? And so I'd like, if you guys can look at this almost like a conversation. I know that that's somewhat difficult. There's this invisible wall between the panelists and, the Q&A and that kind of stuff. But as we get to the Q&A at the end, we'd love to, just have you guys ask whatever questions you have. There's, really anything that you can think of. We'll try to answer those live. And then, of course, there's another plug here, because we will be at SHOT Show in Las Vegas, all of us, next week. And so there's some information there about where you can find us and some other events and things like that. And of course, if you're not going to be at SHOT for whatever reason, we know not everybody can make it. There's all kinds of stuff going on. We'll have contact information. We'll send out this recording. So please feel free to reach out to any of us with any questions that you have. So the agenda today is we're going to start with find new products. Chattanooga, their team is really going to cover that side of it. We're going to get into converting more customers, attracting more customers, converting them, increasing sales, that kind of thing. And that's going to be where Matt's going to spend a lot of his time. And then from an automation standpoint, operational efficiency standpoint, I'll speak to what Flxpoint can do to help you out with that and reduce a lot of that manual labor and some of the stuff that really slogs you down. And then we'll tie it all up in a bow with how you can grow your gun shop. There'll be some of that stuff mixed in, and you can obviously see like, well, if you have new products and you have more customers, and you increase the operations efficiency, you're going to grow your gun shop, right? You're going to increase overall. Everything is going to get a little bit better, but we'll talk about the specifics. So with that, Adam and Gentry, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I'll jump on this one. Chattanooga Shooting, we've been in the industry a long time. We're right under 50 years of being a distributor in the marketplace. We're still family owned and operated. I like to say that around our office, we have a real family feel with a desire to become a little bit more white collar with new systems, new processes, being connected with Flxpoint. That's a really big example of that. But if you look at the reasons why to do business with Chattanooga, and I think that's what's important. I think as a dealer, if you're sitting on this call right now, you're thinking, okay, I want to build a website. And to do that, I need more products to feed into that site. And you've got plenty of great distribution partners out there, some that can really fulfill the need in firearms only, maybe it's ammo only. But when you look at those that have that wide breadth and offer, really, I think a plug for Chattanooga is we're hard to compete with. When you look at from top to bottom, the amount of SKUs that we can provide, it's over 60,000 SKUs that are in stock and ready to ship. We'd like to get as close to that same day as we can. We're going through a warehouse expansion right now because of the growth of the business. We're going to continue to streamline how easy we are to do business with. But really, as I'm a dealer and I'm sitting in your shoes right now, I'm thinking, which distributors do I want to connect with? The thing that I would ask myself is which distributors give me the opportunity to consolidate to one transaction? And I think that's really important. And it's really important to the consumer because as your consumer places an order online, they may place an order for firearms, ammo, cleaning kits, hearing protection. And not every distributor in the space can fill that many categories onto one order. And if you got a shooter that's really into it and thinking about reloading, we can fill that as well. So thinking about the lowering of the transactional cost of your business is one of the selling points for Chattanooga Shooting. If you go to the next slide, Ben.
Absolutely.
Everybody's got, every competitor that we have right now, some great competitors out there have the big brands. They've got the Glocks, they've got the Smith & Wessons, they've got the Mossbergs. But again, kind of going back to that point of long tail products, the diversification of your business, being able to offer more SKUs on your site. I'll give a really quick story about that. I was talking with a customer yesterday, and they're a brand new dropship customer for us. They're growing like wildfire. And he said, man, the number one problem I'm having right now is when the consumer places an order with me, I'm getting 3 invoices because I'm placing an order with you guys. I'm placing an order with 2 of your competitors. And I said, man, let's just look at an order together. Let's look at why you had to do that. So we looked at some of those orders and we looked at our in-stock availability. It's like, you didn't have to place 3 orders. You could have placed 1 order because your customer placed an order for reloading. They had a firearm and they had ammo. And you had to go 3 different places, you thought, but really that consolidation of having a distributor that has that breadth of products with that long tail is so important. And I really think that's where we fit in today.
That's incredible. No, it's a great story, Adam. And I know, and we were talking just the other week about the number, just the sheer number of folks you talk to that have categories that are completely blank, right? Or maybe they only have 1 or 2 products in those categories, right? And it's the same. I mean, it's a very similar issue, right? We see it all the time too. And it's the diversification of the product catalog. It is the long tail, like you said, like if you can have the same, and a perfect example, even if it is, you've got 3 different, options essentially for the same product or the same categories of product. What are you going to do, right? If you're out of stock of one of those, right? Or they're going to go somewhere else, right? And so if we want the opportunity, really need to have the largest breadth you can possible. And you guys,
Mhm.
obviously, with your 60,000 SKUs is extremely helpful. But, I think just another example, and I appreciate the one that you gave. I mean,
Yeah.
when you meet somebody that has a situation like that, where you're going through their website, you're talking sales, and they're trying, how can we improve all these things from on our business and on the website and things like that. What would you normally say to them if you're like, well, these categories, you should probably look to those, or I'd probably, fill out this product, this particular product line or subset. What's a situation like that, Adam?
We were talking about one the other day with Matt. He had a customer, great customer of his, one that Chattanooga's not doing business with. We looked at their storefront online together. We looked at their website, and on their website they had reloading. Right, and I'm going back to that reloading category because I think we're number one in that space, honestly. And there was a big blank in reloading. There was no products, no
Yep.
categories
Yep.
listed out. And I called the sales rep and I was like, man, we have an opportunity, not just for us, but to be able to help the customer. And
Yep.
really, like, to our sales team, and I hope what makes our sales team different is that we're trying to figure out ways to help our customers grow, not how ways to just sell more stuff. Because if you can help a customer like that to fill out their portfolio, that's your winning. That's how you win in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. All right. Thank you, Adam. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Matt, anything you want to add to this sector? Any question for Adam
Yeah,
before you move into your
that's just a great example that Adam just gave of the customer that we were working with together. Um, that whole idea, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but that idea of really building out that catalog to be able to offer all of those things, that's just so critical. We see that over and over again, how important that is. And that's just, that story and what they're doing for that particular shooting store is just a great testimony to what he's talking about here.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I mean, we see it all the time, and it's the same thing. A lot of our customers are in the early stages are just looking for ways to grow. And that,
Yeah.
when we go on a website and we see, well, you got over 1,000 products in this category alone that could be here filling this vacant space, right? And there's nothing. So it's those synergies, right? I hate using buzzwords. Synergies become so popular these days, but it really is. It's a synergistic opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to mutually grow together, mutually beneficial partnership. I think that's obviously we're all partners on this call, and anyone that's from a panelist and attendee perspective, that's how we treat everything. It's a real partnership to try and understand what we can do to help grow your business. So absolutely love it, Adam. Thank you so much for walking us through that. And then Matt, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So, MadFish, one of the things that we're really proud of is just some of our certifications that we've worked with. And over the years that I've owned a couple of technology companies and owned a couple of e-commerce companies myself. And we have really settled in with our partnership with BigCommerce and what we do with them. And we'll talk a little bit more about why that's important here in a minute. You can go ahead, Ben, to the next slide. But with MadFish, just a little history about us. We started this company in 2012, and we're based out of Stowe, Ohio. We're just a little south of Cleveland. And one of the things that's just really a goal for everything that we do is we want to help our customers build the best online e-commerce experience that they possibly can have. And that comes through a lot of different ways, both from look and feel and experience to their users and everything. But that's just really important. Go ahead, Ben, to the next one. One of the key things that we talk about, and this is something I just ingrain in every one of my employees, and we communicate this to every customer, that every e-commerce website that we develop is built on the principles of helping our customers, that's all you guys out there, build a sound strategy that's going to help you grow your business. And I think Adam spoke to this, really that this isn't just about growing our business, right? We're successful because you're successful. And that idea of, really wanting to help you grow as just being paramount to us is so important. And go ahead, Ben. So we do this through four key things. And the idea is the first one, that our main mission is really building technology solutions that help you grow. That's our number one key anchor point. Second thing that we do is really solve pain points for you guys. And we do that through whether it's automations like using tools like Flxpoint, or integrating into shipping systems like ShipStation or QuickBooks Online, or doing those kind of integrations that can solve a lot of that pain point for you. And then one of our passions is really about building the best looking websites out there. There's so many websites out there that are just, they look like they were built by, their cousin Bob in his garage, or they look like they are the standard cookie cutter of, some of the folks that are out there that are building um, websites for the firearm space. And, we want to build you, we want to take you to kind of a national brand level quality site. And then the bonus stage that we really work on with you is to show ROI. We have some incredible numbers that we're sometimes able to show ROI in less than a month. And, when we can make that kind of an impact to a business, we just signed a new company called Harrington Arms, and they're a manufacturer. And we were able to demonstrate an ROI that could be less than 4 weeks of paying for the whole
Wow.
solution. So it's pretty incredible stuff. Go ahead to the next piece. So there's a couple of keys to success, and you're going to have to click through this one, Ben. Unfortunately, you can just click all of them. We'll go through them.
Okay,
But,
thanks. I'm gonna try to time it just perfectly, but I
right.
appreciate it.
So,
Yeah.
a couple of keys to success that we talk to all of our customers about that are really important. Number one is conversion driven everything, right? From design to content to everything that you do, conversion rate, improving that conversion rate is so important. Second thing is really building SEO friendly code and content from the ground up. And this is what's going to get you more organic traffic. We're in a difficult industry, right? In the firearm space, that you can't just go do ads on Google for, a P320. You just can't. It's not something that you can do. And doing really good, solid search engine optimization is really important. Third thing that's really key is having a great shopping cart, and again, the choices are limited. Shopify a couple of years ago said, we're done, no more firearm stuff, and there are a couple others out there that'll play nice, but they're not great options. And we love BigCommerce not only because of the functionality, but also the shopping rate, the shopping cart conversion rate that they're able to show. They did an independent study where it had the highest converting shopping cart of any system out there. And that's incredible
Wow.
for, growing a business, right? And then the fourth key thing to success is really this idea of continual development. Once you build your site and once you get it out there, then it's constant improvement, constantly looking at the analytics, constantly looking at what your shoppers are doing. And again, remember the whole goal is we want shoppers to buy, right? So that idea of tweaking wording, tweaking content, improving content, and your taxonomy of your category structure, all that stuff is things that you want to continuously work on and continuously develop. Go ahead. So conversion rate is king. This is something that we talk about all the time. In the industry, and not just this industry, but the e-commerce industry, right? A lot of people will build these websites. You'll get your website launched by someone and then sit there and say, well, I just need more traffic. I can grow my sales by more traffic. And we talk all the time about your number one most important goal is improve conversion rate. Get your conversion rate optimized. Then let's talk about more traffic. And by doing this, not only are you going to have a multiplying effect of your marketing dollars, but the end result is substantially greater than just doing more traffic or more people. Because if you're only converting at 1%, right, then you're not going to get very far with that. And the dollars that you spend on that aren't going to get you the results that you really want. Whereas if we can dial that conversion rate, we talk all the time about what would 1% mean to you? What would 1% in conversion rate mean to you and your site, right? And when we're able to dial that to 2.5, or 3, or sometimes even higher, it can dramatically affect the results that you're going to see that. So remember that conversion rate is king. Go ahead to the next one here.
While we're on that, Matt,
Yeah.
not to throw a curveball at you, but I just think it's an important point to really like hammer in on, because it's funny, with all the companies that I've worked with. For anybody out here, I've consulted for a ton of e-commerce companies, right? And usually what we do, and what Matt does, his process is to go in, and obviously he's going to take a look at your website visitors today. He's going to take a look at your conversion rate. We're going to look at the average order value. We're going to look at return customers, like
Yeah.
all the different metrics that everybody looks at, right? But it's funny because a lot of times I think that this one is overlooked, until someone like Matt and his team go in and say, the conversion rate part is actually the easiest part that we can address right away to get you in a better position,
Yeah.
right? A lot of times it's like, and I'll talk a little bit about this too. Like the SEO side is extremely important, right? And your product descriptions and the images that you have, and it all plays into it. But conversion rate, getting that from a 1%, or even in some cases a 0.5%, up to a 2.5, you can just do the quick math, right? We're talking 400%, 400x, 4x. I mean, not 400x, but 4x or 400% where you were. You haven't brought any new visitors to your website, right? It's just improving the experience. And the other side of that is the opportunity cost, right? Because if they're there and they don't convert, they're going somewhere else, So that's the important piece there. So sorry, I didn't want to steal your thunder on that one, Matt, but I just thought it's just such an important metric,
It's such an interesting thing too, Ben, because I was just talking to a customer of ours yesterday. We were doing some interviews for a video for SHOT Show, and we were talking to him, and when he launched his site with us, right? He came to us. He was a successful company. I mean, it was a small company, and they were doing about $800,000, a year, and they were very profitable at that point. But he really wanted to grow. He really wanted to take it to the next level, right? So we came in, redesigned the site, put in all of the tools that we know how to put in, did everything that we needed to do for him, and literally, it was like overnight. It took like a month to actually sink in, but it was within that first month his run rate doubled. He went from an $800,000 a year company to a $1.6 million a year company overnight,
just
right?
like that.
Without any additional marketing, anything. And then what he talked about is then all the SEO work and all the other stuff that we did after that had a multiplied effect and has had continued growth and expansion. He's now in the neighborhood of, I don't know, I think he's at 2.5 million, right? Because of the way that it did. And when you're talking about numbers like that, when you're talking about taking a company from 800,000 or $1 million, or whatever it is, right? And you all of a sudden make them a $2.5 million company, that's life changing, right? And that's really, when I started the company, that was really my goal, was I wanted to change people's lives through these technology solutions, right? And when you can look at an owner and see that happen, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's really what we're about. Go ahead and go to the next slide. We'll talk about this a little bit more. We talk about the rule of 100, and to really drive this conversion rate thing home, what I tell people to do is think about what it costs you to get 100 people to your site, right? Because conversion rate is how many people out of 100 buy on your site. So we talk about this rule of 100. So let's just say, for example, all right, it costs you $100 to get 100 people. Okay. And if you're converting at 1%, all right, then it costs you $100 to get one order for your website. Okay. Now, what the traditional thinking and what a lot of agencies do and a lot of folks think is, well, I just need to pour more gas on that fire and get 200 people. Okay, great. Now you're spending $200 and you're getting 2 orders. And then 300, 400, you're getting 4 orders, and so on. And we come in and say, okay, now let's dial that back a little bit. Let's not spend any more money on getting more traffic. Let's instead optimize that conversion rate. Now, we dial that conversion rate from a 1% to a 3% for easy math, we'll say, okay, to a 3%. Now, that $100 spent, that same $100, now you're getting 3 orders for that. Now, where this starts to have magic is when you dial that to $200. Now we're at 6 orders, and you dial that to $400, and now we're at 12 orders. So instead of those 4 orders for that $100 because you didn't optimize conversion rate, now you're at 12 orders for that same amount of spend on marketing. So that idea of that rule of 100, what does it cost to get 100 people, whether that's through email marketing or whether that's through, whatever ads you can do if you're doing maybe a soft goods, maybe not an actual firearm store, but, holsters or things that you can still optics or things that you can still advertise for, right? Whatever it is, by optimizing that conversion rate, that rule of 100 allows you to have a multiplied effect on, where you're going to go from a sales success standpoint.
It's a really elegant way to put it, and obviously on the marketing and sales side, this is how our brains are wired. We think like this all the time, especially with the e-commerce and how it works from an online standpoint. But yeah, really, really good way to simplify it, Matt.
Yep. Thanks. All right. Next thing we want to talk about is grow your average order value, right? And this is once you get that conversion rate optimized, now how do I get them to go from spending $100 to spending $150 or $200? Because now we're multiplying the effect of your marketing dollars and your advertising spend or whatever it may be. And there's a bunch of ways that you can do that through site design and different elements like that. But Adam, to what you were speaking about, some of those long tail pieces, I mean, you could probably add to this from just by having that increase in that catalog, you can get those people to not just buy the gun, but they can also buy the cleaning kit. They can also buy the ammo. They can also buy whatever, right?
Absolutely. And you got to think about it. If I'm a gun store owner today and I think about my brick and mortar space, if a consumer comes in, they purchase a firearm, I want to have the ability to sell them that ammo and that holster that goes with it. And I want to go a step further, right? I want to be able to sell them a gun belt because you don't want them walking around with a saggy gun on their britches. Like we've got to be able to put this whole thing together. And talking about average order value, I mean, it's any dealer, distributor, any retail space, we're all looking at ways to increase that average order value. And the more products that you can offer, it's just going to help that. And I want to say one thing too about as dealers are growing their business, because man, as you're talking about, you got me excited. I'm like, man, if I'm sitting there as a dealer right now, I'm thinking, okay, well, I can grow this online marketplace. One of the things that you're going to be tempted to do is to also grow your inventory. And I just want to put a plug in here.
Yep.
That it's a little bit different on this in the online space than in your brick and mortar store. In your brick and mortar store, you want all those things we just mentioned, but you got to be careful too as your space online grows, is not to grow your inventory to outmatch your sales. And a plug for all of distribution here would be protect your working capital and let distribution fulfill those needs and to help you boost that average order value.
Well, isn't that I mean, that's one of the great things about, that I'm most excited about, just the partnership that we have with, Flxpoint and you guys. And, what we've seen in our customers in the past with, the integration with Flxpoint and being able to do that drop ship capability, that now all of a sudden with, no capital outlay from an inventory standpoint, no tax liability from an inventory standpoint, I've just added 60,000 SKUs to my online store. So now that person can buy the holster and the gun belt and the ammo and everything. And all I'm doing is collecting the profit dollars from that, because those orders are seamlessly going through Flxpoint and right into your fulfillment channel and out of your warehouse, shipped directly to them or to their FFL. And we've just streamlined that whole thing, and I've got no capital outlay for that order.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a
beautiful thing. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, you guys, I mean, that's the best way to explain it. That's why we're on this call. Obviously, it's a partnership, and we love the way that it all works together. But it's exactly right. And I mean, I think we're talking about ammunition, right? That's ammunition for your sales, right? It's 60,000 opportunities that you're kind of missing out on. And I think we're going to skip the Flexpoint portion of this presentation. I think Matt and Adam had it covered. So we'll, I'm kidding, but it was a very, just a great way to bring it all together. But while we're on that subject, I think it is extremely important, because if you're adding to, if it costs you money to purchase these products and store the products and the space that you need and all these other things, right? And they do not sell, that's an issue. I know everyone here on this call knows that. You've been in that spot, yes. Hopefully not often, right? But if you have access to that stuff, and when we say 60,000 products, you can access 1,000 of those. You can access 50. You can access all 60, right? It really depends on what you want to do. And you have complete control, power, and flexibility to choose the things that you want and then do what you want with them by channel, right? By prioritization. You know, if you like Chattanooga's version of a product better, if they give you a better price, and most of the time they will, then you can set them to the default. They're the primary. But if you want to make sure that just in case Chattanooga's ever out of something, rarely are, but just in case they are, you can have a backup, right? If you need something like that. And so we'll get into a little bit of that a little bit further in the presentation, but it really is, it's sales ammunition at your fingertips, the way that you need it when it is a good way to look at it.
Yeah. One more thing just about this whole, that integration, and the other thing that I think is so critical for these dealers, right? When you're dealing with FFL related products, one of the big things that people have to do when they inventory something is that whole transfer, right? Dealing with the bound book, dealing with the ATF, dealing with all of the different elements that go in with that to get it to the customer and do those background checks or whatever, if it's somebody in store or transferring it or whatever. Great thing about using somebody like Chattanooga is when I come onto your site and I go buy, you know, I'm a big SIG guy, right? I've got a bunch of SIGs. And so when I buy my 365 XL and I buy it from you, but you send that through Flexpoint into Chattanooga, they're handling that transfer. There's nothing that you have to do as a dealer to worry about that ATF compliance from that standpoint, because it's literally being sent to the FFL directly from Chattanooga, right, Adam?
It absolutely is, and that's a real big part of it. There's other distributors out there, and this is just I think another value for you as a dealer listening to this call is some distributors might hamper on who you can ship to store for. We don't do that. Like, we have a list of customers, which is a very small list. I want to say it's probably less than 30 customers within our book of business, Gentry. Is that right? That will not allow us to drop ship an FFL item. But for the most part, you know, we handle all of that for the dealers to make it so seamless.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. All right, go ahead, Ben. Let's go on to the next one here. All right. And again, you can kind of roll through these here, but one of the things that, you know, we look at is, again, that's so important to us. And we were so excited in doing this video roll. We're doing this whole video for our booth at SHOT Show, and it gave me an opportunity to go back and talk to a bunch of past customers. And the things that I saw, it was really cool, because when we're working on current projects, sometimes you don't hear all the time the results that people were seeing, or you're not in front of you all the time. But it was really great for us to see what some of these folks are doing. Number one, our customers see is increased conversion rates, right? We hear story after story about how sales boost instantly. We had an ammo company that's all he sold was ammo, right? And he was doing about $80,000-$90,000 a month. We launched his site literally overnight. It was literally the next day his run rate went to 150,000 a month.
Wow.
And you know, it's just, we see that over and over. And now not everybody gets the double your sales site, right? I mean, we get some of those, we hit some of those out of the home, you know, out of the park, but people consistently see increasing conversion rate. And the next thing is just improve search performance. You know, this one particular vendor said not only did they double their sales, but then over time, all of the SEO that we had done on the front end started to take hold, and their Google traffic, they doubled their traffic. And so not only did their conversion rate double, but now their traffic doubled, which just multiplied the effect even more. So, you know, we consistently see improvements in that. We do a lot of work with email marketing, and, you know, the way that we build these things and the automations that we build, we see consistent consistently more email signups for email marketing lists. And again, in this industry, that's one of the things that's so important because
Yep.
it is still one of the channels that we can market through, right? So the bigger you get that list, the more people we can get on that, you know, it's so important. We had a customer that we were just talking to, and we had kind of done this trial run on our email marketing service with them. And, you know, what we were able to show her by the number of additional email signups and the effectiveness of the email campaign, I couldn't make this up. We were able to show her a 12x on her spend for us to manage their email campaigns to the revenue that it was generating for the store.
Wow.
I mean, it's really some remarkable stuff from that standpoint. And all of these things add up really to just more sales to your bottom line, right? This is just all of these things that we do and all the stuff that we do from a website and in marketing and an SEO and all of that. It's all about helping you grow your business. Because when we get people that come to our booth, and we're so excited about SHOT Show this year. 2 years ago, we went as an attendee. Last year, we had a booth. This year, you know, we're going to have the booth again. And this year, we've got customer after customer saying, "Hey, are you going to be there? We can't wait to meet you in person. You know, we can't wait to, you know, actually shake your hand and tell you thanks for what you did." And, you know, it's such a cool thing to see these customers grow and be changing these lives like this.
It's incredible. Get to live your
Yeah.
dream, Matt. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the
you know
whole
what it
thing,
is?
right? A
It's
true
so
partnership.
funny. I was sitting with a group of guys, I don't know, a month or so ago, and you know, they were all kind of grumbling about their jobs and grumbling about, you know, having to go to work and oh geez, it's Monday tomorrow and all this stuff like that. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I got nothing, right? I'm living, I'm like truly living the 12-year-old version of me's dream. I mean, this is what I dreamt of when I was 12 years old, that this is what I was going to be doing. And you know, I'm one of those very rare people, man. I love coming to work every Monday, and when I get to hear these stories and I get to talk to these people and I get to watch these lives change, you can't ask for anything better than that. So,
You can't, no. And it's funny, I think, and I'll click the next slide here, but I just want to say,
yeah,
all four of us, I think, and it's pretty common. I think, you know, people want to help people. That's normal, but that's kind of it's a mission. You know, I'm the same
yeah,
way, Matt, and my mission is to help people, right? And if I
yep,
can help one person each day, I feel great going to bed
yep,
every night. You know, and that's what really
yep,
why we're all in it. And I know Chattanooga is the same, right? We're just trying to help people
Yep.
thrive. That's it.
yep.
Absolutely.
All right. So the last thing, just if you want to learn more about what MadFish can do and Flexpoint can do and what we can do together, you can go to growyourgunshop.com. We've got some great information, talks about Flexpoint and BigCommerce and MadFish and some of the packages and things that you can do there. So you can check that out. And also, if you're going to SHOT Show this year, we'd love to see you. We'd love to talk to you. You can check us out at booth 42263. We're downstairs in the Venetian on the main center aisle, kind of near the end, but we're easy to find. And I know FlexPoint is going to be joining us in our booth quite a bit. They're one of our key partners, and we're going to be doing some things with them. So we'd love to see you. And yeah, just thanks for your time today, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Appreciate you
Yeah.
walking us through that, and Adam, for the conversation on this section. I think it's great. I mean, the importance of how the online store set up, the website set up, can't be overstated. And it's just an
Yep.
extremely vital, crucial part to this whole thing. So, and yeah, we will be at MadFish's booth. So it'll either be me, Travis, our CEO. We'll have Justin, who's a solutions architect, sales engineer, and then Mike Bermico, our head of integration. So I think some of you on this call know already. Well, all four of us will be at his booth and then in other places. So you can respond to an email. We're going to send this recording afterwards. You can respond to that email. Respond to any email. Speaking of email marketing, it's probably how you got here. So if you want to set up time with us, we have the time. We'll make the time no matter what. Or just come by the booth and say hi. So
I guess
I'll
the
be
Chattanooga, real quick, the Chattanooga plug, like if we're plugging a SHOT Show booth, 72239, remember that. And if you guys are going to go see the Ruger booth, we're right beside it. Like the last couple of years, we've been right beside Ruger. So if you're heading over to see Ruger, come by and see us, 72239. Thanks.
Awesome. That's great, man. That's great, Adam. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll be by your booth too. So, we're
Absolutely. I
going to
can't
bounce
wait to
around.
see you in person.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'll be pretty quick. I know it's already 1:42 Eastern time. Do you want to leave some time for Q&A? And we've talked Flxpoint. Obviously, you guys probably caught on this already, but when we get into the Flex side, we're the glue in the middle, right? You need access to products, right? You need access to inventory. You need access to drop shippers. You've got your 3PL warehouses in some cases, or your internal inventory. You got a lot of other things going on, and then you got your website. How do you connect the dots between those things? So in a nutshell, with Flxpoint, we integrate between vendors, suppliers, basically, to websites, to other fulfillment and shipping type technologies, all the way to accounting systems, POS systems, and everything in between, right? We'll talk about it in a little more detail, but you can see the workflow diagram, fancy chart on the right side. We've got API integrations, EDI integrations. We have CSV integrations. Some folks like to use that. We have direct connections to a lot of vendors. We've got the largest supplier network out of any dropship automation software, right? So that's just a couple of things to name it off, but we can integrate with any vendor. So regardless of whether you see them in our portal, you guys are working with somebody, they don't do this week, we can make that happen. We're very, very flexible. Thus the name. I'll try not to do as many puns as possible, but that's where it comes from. Flexible point and the center point of all those things. Every order, so we automate everything in between. So whether it is a specific rule that you have in place, whether that's down on pricing, whether it is based on a cost or shipping or where it ships from or whatever it might be, we can create workflows for that, and then seamlessly push things back and forth between the supplier themselves and then your website. And then multi-channel, which we'll talk a lot about multi-channel, but in a pretty simplified, I know this is a lot going on this slide, but in a simplified way, this is probably the slide that everybody likes the most. If you ever have done a demo with us in the past, I know you've seen this before. It's the first thing that we go over, and then we get into the actual application. But basically, it's a central hub, right? And so what we do is we connect dropship vendors, right, to companies like you, to retailers like you. So if you're looking for additional products, like from Chattanooga, the 60,000 SKUs that they have, we have access to those already, right? We've already connected to them. We have all of the product descriptions. We have all of the unique identifiers that they have, right? Anything that you can imagine from a product description standpoint that's available, we've got it. And so once you're in Flxpoint, you just say, hey, yeah, I want to integrate with Chattanooga Shooting Supplies. I'd like to see their catalog, and I want to pick some products to push it to my BigCommerce site, right? Or a different type of site if that's what you have. So it's really simple. Beyond that, what we do is if you want to grow your business, we help you find more products, right? So if you're on this call, I know a handful of folks responded in the form that they were very interested to meet with Chattanooga because they either just signed up or they're interested in signing up, right? This is a great opportunity for you to go in and you can actually see some of the product catalog without ever even interacting with the Flxpoint application if you want to get a look at that. And obviously, we've got Chattanooga people here. So if you have questions about that, we're happy to walk you through it. But it's a super simple process. Then if you have other suppliers or whoever else, we can almost guarantee we integrate with them or we can get them into the system. So you've got your multiple vendors, dropship vendors, right? And then if you look on the left side, this isn't applicable to some of you probably, maybe even a lot of you, but we also do 3PL warehouses and internal type of warehouses or storerooms, if you will. So we do help with that if you're using ShipStation or SKU Vault or Ship Hero or Deliver, pretty much everything from the product listing and then also fulfillment side of things we'll automate. And then what happens is push everything into Flxpoint. And then from there, you've got the central hub to manage all of it. So you can change product descriptions, you can change images, you can use what's already in there. You can add certain things, right? You can manage your categories. You can manage which channels those listings are on. So as we move to the right, let's say you're on BigCommerce today and you'd love to add some accessories, right? Some just basic accessories to an Amazon, or you're interested in selling on Gunbroker. And you don't have that set up today because Gunbroker is a little bit difficult to deal with at times, right? Just because of the categories that they have not lining up with some other stuff, so that what you already have in your system or how it's categorized from other vendors. So we automate all of those things, make that super streamlined for you so you can see exactly where things are going, and then all the way back through. So once an order is placed, where that goes, we do everything from purchase order automation, we read invoices, we consolidate all of that stuff. And then from a routing standpoint, if you do have multiple options to ship, we prioritize that based on proximity, based on cost to you, all those kinds of things to optimize for, one, saving you all the time, right? From manually managing that. There's no one on this call or on this planet that could possibly want to manage 50,000 products via a spreadsheet, right? Or any other manual kind of way. That nobody has time for that. And that's like a use case to get into an actual story, right? Customer I talked to just a week ago, he told me that when he was first starting out, just a pretty usual case, had a brick and mortar store, had a website, wasn't seeing a lot of activity on it. Decided he was going to prioritize this. By the way, this is like right around the time of the pandemic when he started this search, so you could probably relate to this, right? Everything shuts down. He's like, I've got to fix my website, right? We've got to get more activity over here. And he's like, I was managing all of it in a spreadsheet with about 2,000 products, and then I went on this journey to find a solution that would allow me to automate this whole thing, gain efficiency, simplify it. He looked at a couple different options. I'm not going to drop names on here because I don't want to. This is a recorded call. If you want to know later, I'll tell you exactly who the alternatives that he looked at. But he explored a couple other options, and there are some great tools out there that allowed the connection piece, but he couldn't edit anything, right? He couldn't adjust it. He couldn't customize it. It wasn't flexible. There were no workflows. There was no real way to. It was just like one-to-one. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to push it over here. We really do all that. And when he saw our system, he quickly went from 2,000 to 50,000, right? And just like that, in the easiest process you can possibly imagine, it had everything pushed out in less than a couple of days. That's from getting into our system and setting everything up. So super simple process. The accounting side of it, I'll be happy to share more detail. We don't have time for that, but it's pretty basic. I'm sure everyone on this call understands it. If we're taking data from here and pushing it over here with a bunch of different customization in the middle to suit your unique needs, that saves time. Now, if we talk about Gunbroker, over here, I know I've got some screenshots you can't really see, but what we see, and this is a tool that we built based on feedback from our customers. Firearms and dealers are our biggest industry, hands down our most customers. But what they told us consistently is like the Gunbroker is delisting, or they're having issues on Gunbroker itself or getting approved in some cases. And so they wondered if we could find a way to help them match what a product over here from this vendor into Gunbroker in the category that they have it defined by in an easy way. And so you might think some automation companies would just create an if-then scenario, a couple of different ones and zeros in the back end. Not Flxpoint. We decided to build an entire AI-powered tool specifically for Gunbroker to help you out, right? If you want to sell on that channel. So we have this category mapping tool now, built specifically for this space, obviously. And the way it works is we take all of their existing classifications and we automatically look at the description, the title. We look at anything from the SKU, UPC, whatever it may be, right? And then we match that against Gunbroker's entire catalog. And by the way, we're updating this every time they update it, which thankfully isn't that often, but it's a consistent thing where we're not just set and forget. It's constantly being enhanced and improved and all those things. And what we do is we match it to about 80% accuracy, right? And we say 80% because we see on average 20% of the listings don't have all the detail that we'd like to see. And so that's the only place where it's not the tool itself that has the 20% kind of iffiness. It's just if the data is not good, we have issues with it. You guys know all about bad data. And so it does save a bunch of time. What we've seen is that you're going to have everything that's matched with a certain level of accuracy score on it. If it's like 80% or higher, our system's going to go ahead and say, hey, push this button, and we'll push those out. We'll tag them to those categories. If it's anything less than that, we'll have a flag for you to review it. And then lastly, just two more slides and then we'll head into Q&A. But I won't spend a lot of time on this, but the marketer in me loves to share customer stories. And honestly, the customer-centric person in me loves customer stories, right? We've been talking about that a lot. Ultimately, the success of our customers is what makes us happy. It's why we're in business. And even on a personal level, like I said, sleep much better at night. So this is just a couple of those stories. You can see that we consistently earn badges, awards from G2 for the best support, most likely to recommend, easiest to do business with, all those things. We got 250 plus customers growing every day and over 2,000 integrated brands. So you can see the brands down there. I know you're all familiar with. These are all customers of ours. And in some cases, they're both customers. They use our automations platform, and they're also suppliers for us as well. And then lastly, we also have a happy hour we'd like to invite you to. That's right. You're all invited to a happy hour. It is going to be the usual happy hour fare, right? It's premium drinks and great networking and food, all that kind of stuff. It's at the Cananita. It is upstairs right by the canal. And so we'll actually send this invite. This is the front half of a ticket or invitation. The back half has instructions on it. We're going to send an email out to everyone on this call and everyone who registered as well. With the details here. So you're invited to come to that. I think Matt may be stopping by, and you might see Chattanooga there as well. Of course, everyone here is invited. So you can meet us in person there in addition to the booths. And then the other thing that you get is a special discount. So if you are interested in Flxpoint, we do have a special offer that's going to be exclusive for SHOT Show. If you can't make shot and you're on this webinar, we're happy to extend that to you as well. Just contact me and I'll give you the details. But it's a limited time deal. You guys know how that stuff works. So awesome, y'all. Well, I think we're at time. I know there are a couple questions we didn't get to answer today, but you got our contact info. Please reach out to us directly with that. We will set up some time to answer your questions, or alternatively, we'll set up some time to talk at SHOT so we can answer them in person. It's always better face to face, right? But for those of you that are going to SHOT, safe travels. Any final words from you, Adam, Gentry, Matt?
No, I think this was a great thing, and I hope that the folks that are listening were able to get some value out of this as to some things that they can really do with their website and things to focus on, and seeing how the three of us can really work together to try and give you those solutions that are going to help you grow, right? That's really what our goal is here, and I hope that all of you were able to get some value out of this and take away from it.
Same on the Chattanooga side. If you're at SHOT Show, come by, talk to our sales team, ask them specifically about customers. And we're not going to give you customer names, but ask for success stories. How were they able to grow their web presence? And that's things that we love talking about. So stop by. We'll talk about ways to grow your business.
Yeah,
100%. Echo the same thing. And I would say as the last piece of it, you can use any of the advice or the tips, if you will, that we gave you and apply that a bunch of different ways across your unique business, right? It's not just us. We can certainly help, and if you were interested in help, please reach out. But there are a lot of good tips, a lot of nuggets of truth in what Adam and Gentry and Matt shared today that you can start using today. And outside of that, we'll see you at SHOT, hopefully. And if we don't, we'll hear from you via email. We look forward to working with you and meeting you and partnering up, and also just hope you have the best year yet in 2025. So thanks so much.